Hello, welcome to my channel. Vice Rhino here. Cirrus is not over there because about 45 seconds ago he was just like, crap, I gotta pee. So he'll be with us when he's done using the washroom. You are late, says Fennec. Yeah, my kid had a thing. If I could have made my kid's thing not be on a Wednesday, I would have, okay?
I'm back, and so is Rhino's shoulder elbow.
Well, I had to go get the hats, because I always forget to get the hats. And Conton83 redeemed a hat.
Ah, I see.
Fennec was just yelling at me because I'm late. And it's because my kid had a thing. So I was at the kid's thing. And I couldn't control what day it was.
That is fair. God damn it, Growlithe. Really? This is the third time I'll have to have gotten up in 15 minutes.
Does Growlithe need out?
Girl.
Okay. Which kid had the thing? Oldest kid had the thing. It was an acting thing. They were in a play. And the play that was on before them was very painful because someone thought it was a good idea to make it a musical. And let's just say their ability to hit the notes was not entirely adequate. They're the adults that were it's school plays, and they're written by the students and performed by the students and directed by the students. So I don't even know what the teachers do, because they clearly weren't providing any creative direction. Like, someone should have been like, hey, maybe we don't write a musical, considering none of our strong suits is singing.
Okay, maybe this time I'll be able to sit down and stay down.
Sit. Stay.
Ah.
No, I was just telling them, I don't think I told you this, the play that was on before my kids' play was a musical.
So the kids wrote their own music and everything?
Well, no, they were playing pop songs and singing to them, but they were choosing ones that fit the theme. And let's just say that the Christian worship band that I was in was better at music than these guys, and we weren't particularly good.
My brain filled in the blank there, and it said that the Christian band that you were in was one of the ones playing.
No.
It's like, huh, well, that's a little bit of irony.
No, that would have been amusing. But, yeah. So yeah, I was being tortured before I came here.
That is unfortunate and also incredibly hilarious.
Yeah.
And I want to say I'm sorry that happened to you, but it was worth it for me.
Okay. Jassa is apparently on a 7 stream watch streak.
Wow. That's literally the equivalent to a 40 stream watch streak for me because you stream once a week.
I don't know that that's how that works. So, oh, there was something that I wanted to talk about that I don't have queued up for the news.
Oh.
Apparently, Jess has got a 30 streak on your streams.
Yay!
That was not it.
Hacker Fairy says fascist like 40K, the aesthetics of it at least. That's because 40K is a parody universe and people are really, really fucking bad at
Yeah.
discerning parody from not. Just
Fascists
look at
also
the
love
Starship
that,
Troopers.
Yeah, yeah. They don't
Like, just look
realize
at the
that they are the butt of that joke. Oh yeah, yeah. What I was going to talk about a little bit was so State of the Union address and
one of the
the.
most boring culty things I've watched in a very long time.
I haven't watched it. I have
You
no
haven't
desire to
watched the
watch it.
State of the Union?
No, I don't think I've watched a single State of the Union ever.
I mean, that's fair. I can answer any questions you might have. I did watch it.
I feel like I don't have any questions. It was all the
Okay.
immigrants' fault.
Yep.
Sleepy Joe Biden did stuff wrong.
Specifically, the Somali immigrants' fault. He focused
Yes,
really hard on the
I
Somalis.
did see a clip of Ilhan Omar yelling at him about it.
Yep.
I know there were a few Democrats that didn't go, but what I think is really funny about that is so the men's hockey team was catching flack for being all Trumpy or whatever, which like they're NHL players. The NHL is full of Trumpy people. Like that's not
Well,
news at this point. But then
also, just being the U.S. team that won the Olympics and then also
being a bunch of
being
dipshits.
being at the White House. Well, like so what I wanted to say is that being the U.S. team that wins at the Olympics and being at the White House, irrespective of personal politics, kind of goes hand in hand usually.
Yes,
So I'm not surprised.
which brings up the like what I'm amused by is that they had to sit through that. How long was it? 2.5 hours.
Hour and 48 minutes.
Because so almost 2 hours. They had to sit through that whole boring ass speech that everybody knows what Trump is going to say. He's going to brag about the amazing economy where he made prices lower than is possible for the prices to be, and then real people go out and try to buy groceries and are like, "Oh, that was a lie." He hits on all the things that he always hits on, that he always lies about. And meanwhile, the women's hockey team snubbed him and were invited to party in Vegas with Flava Flav. And this is the thing that might get me believing in the Mandela effect. Because when I first saw someone post about Flava Flav inviting them to party in Vegas, I saw it written out. I saw his name written out, and I'm like, Flavor Flav? That's got to be a typo. And I just ignored it because whatever, it's a typo. Who cares? I knew who they were talking about.
Yeah.
But then I kept seeing it pop up as Flavor Flav. I'm like, it can't be Flavor Flav. It's Flava Flav.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's Flavor Flav. They just say it Flava Flav. And I'm just like, reading it like that it looks like a white person trying to do an imitation of Flava Flav. That was my thought when I saw that. I was like, oh, that's like the white Flava Flav knockoff version. It's Flavor Flav.
That's wrong. No.
Okay, but that's what's going to get me believing in the Mandela effect. His name ends with an like it's not flavor, it's flava.
No.
With an A.
No. This is all wrong. It's definitely Flava. I agree with you.
Yeah.
What the fuck? No.
Oh yeah, apparently it's spelled Flav, not Flave. I didn't even notice that. I was so distracted by the flavor.
It's
And then,
usually a good thing if you're distracted by the flavor being very good. Oh, we're not talking about sandwiches, sorry.
yeah. Yeah, but that's my main takeaway from this whole hockey debacle is that it's Flavor Flav. And that's weird to me. So yeah.
That feels and sounds wrong.
That's because it is wrong. It can't be right, but somehow it is. Like it's, and I know I'm not crazy because I mentioned that to my partner and she was the same thing. It's like that kid. No, he doesn't spell his name that way. And then she looked it up and was like, "Oh fuck, he does." Have you seen the picture of him? I don't know how, but you know how like he's known for the big clock around his neck.
Yeah.
Did you see the one where it was a digital clock?
No?
I don't know why, but that one made me laugh.
The fuck?
It came up when I Googled it to see if I was spelling his name right. And it's not coming up now. Maybe somebody.
So there was
photoshopped
never a digital clock to begin with,
No, that I'm just blaming the inconsistency of Google results on that.
Yeah.
I was using a different browser. I was on my phone or something. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, no, it's definitely Flava Flav. I'm sorry, but like that's no. I will not be tricked.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
This is a liberal ploy.
Have you seen the one where he wore a sundial? No, I haven't. That sounds awesome. Okay. Let's do some news.
Okay.
So we're starting off. ICE agents keep shooting themselves during firearms drills. This was sent to me by my anonymous source.
That's way too funny.
It is. So several ICE agents accidentally shot themselves during routine training exercises last year. 3 of them discharged their firearms within a 2-day span in March.
You said discharge.
Yes, I did say discharge. I saw a clip. Okay. I forget where I saw it, but I wanted to pull the audio to add to my soundboard. That is more difficult to add to now that I'm not using the Go XLR. But like it's a Christian cartoon of some kind, and when Jesus shows up, he says, "I have come," but the way the voice actor says it is, "I have come." So it makes it sound like he's got a handful of cum or something.
I have. Behold.
I have.
This is come.
I have come. And so I wanted that clip for my soundboard.
Christ.
Yeah, so each time they struck themselves in the leg while holstering their service weapon. So when they're putting their guns away, they keep shooting themselves in the legs.
Jesus fucking Christ.
The saddest part about this, though, is that all of the agents survived and were treated and released.
Fucking hell.
It's the most depressing sentence that I've seen. And then in a separate event, an ICE instructor accidentally discharged a newly issued taser. No injuries were reported for that one, but...
Is that also a depressing sentence for you?
Yeah. I would like... ICE agents getting hurt is objectively funny.
Hello. Yeah.
There's a safety on guns for a reason. You think ICE officers know what a safety is?
No, probably not. The cum dealer.
The cum dealer?
The cum dealer.
The cum dealer. Who is the cum dealer?
Apparently you.
Okay. Does it always have to be mine?
Probably.
Because I'm not opposed, but I may need some help.
Yeah, it's probably yours. Let's be honest.
I'll start saving it in jars. Oh, God, there are people that actually do that.
There are people who actually do that. They are
I don't know why. I don't want to know why. But like, ugh.
they are strange. They are weird people,
Sean
and
Helfand
we
says
should make fun of them.
Sean Helfand says I really wanted a casualty
Oh,
from
whoa.
being tasered to death. So good news on that front. You remember January 6th? There was that guy that accidentally tased himself in the balls to death.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
So it did end up not being entirely accurate. He did die from his own taser, but the rumor going around was that he was trying to put it in his pants like a cool movie thing or whatever, and he accidentally tased himself in the balls. That last part ended up not being true, but I don't care. He tased himself to death. May as well say he did it in the balls.
Yeah.
Livia Williams says, seriously, where do they get these people? Well, they just get desperate people that need money and are cruel. And it's the same people being flown to different parts of the country. So like there's not as many of them as they would like us to think. But there are too many of them.
Far too many. That's kind of the biggest issue you get though with this kind of shit. Because like we will always ask ourselves the question, how did this happen? How could anybody let this happen? How do you become this cruel of a person? Like we have a million ways to go about asking those questions, but usually the answer is some variation of people are desperate and people are cruel.
Well, I
And if
mean,
you can
does it, what was the phrase that came out of the Nuremberg trials? It was the banality of evil.
banality of evil, yes.
Yeah, like that's what it is. It's like the sad fact of reality is that these are like they're probably not psychopaths. They honestly see immigrants as less than human. So
Have you seen the videos from that guy that has a fake ICE reporting hotline?
No, I haven't, but I have heard of it.
We covered it on the channel for a little while ago, and like there is a chance, like right, there is a chance that it is fake, but at the same time, everything that the people tend to say on that hotline are things that I have seen uttered elsewhere on the internet. So either it's Pose, which we've already had our discussion on Pose law before. I don't see a discernible difference between a Poe and a like real true blue actor.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one is a lightning rod for the behaviors of the other, and therefore, just not much fucking difference to me. So, on the one hand, maybe a lot of these are fake. On the other hand, I'm not seeing all the hallmarks that make me give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just like for the most part these are probably fairly ordinary people that have just bought into all the propaganda. They don't believe that immigrants are human. They see them as less than human. So it's not that they don't have empathy, it's that they don't see these human beings as human beings. And that allows them to do these cruel things to them that they wouldn't otherwise do. Now, I would argue that still makes them bad people because, like, I don't see gerbils as human beings, but I wouldn't treat a pet gerbil the way these people treat immigrants.
Yeah. So, like, the thing is, whether or not they see people as human, all that changes is how you have to address it conversationally.
Mm-hmm.
But the end result of it is still a lack of empathy. Like
Yeah.
all the mechanics end up being the same. We're just changing some window dressing.
Yeah, but there's also an issue with pathologizing something like this. Like, I'm sure there are psychopaths among them, like people with legitimate antisocial personality disorder, but I don't think it's all of them.
Yeah, but that's why I'm not. So, okay.
But that's the thing, though. There are people with antisocial personality disorder that can actually do okay in society and don't turn into ICE agents. So I feel like that is almost like that's doing the thing where like all people that have this stigmatized disorder are bad people, and I don't like that.
Okay, so I feel like maybe what I said might not gotten lost to the weeds, but like may have been misunderstood there. Because what I was saying is that if you don't see those people, like immigrants as people, you end up not having empathy for them.
Hmm. Yeah.
And if you also just simply don't have empathy for people, these things can manifest in the exact same way. Now, granted, I did say these things manifest the same way, so I don't care. So maybe that's where that it looks like I'm doing the thing like, hey, if you have sociopathy, you are guaranteed to do these terrible behaviors, and that is stigmatizing. So yeah, I guess I did make that mistake in that turn of phrase.
Okay. I think a large portion of them are either believing in the rapture and they are on the good side. I I have my doubts as to how many of these guys are actually like Christian. Like I don't know. I have a hard time wrapping my head around the whole Christian nationalist thing. Because, like, even thinking back to when I was a Christian and was right wing, I don't think I would have fallen for Trump, even then.
So Frank Turek. Frank
Hmm.
Turek has done a non-zero amount of posts that are very, very pro-Christian nationalism.
Hmm. Frank Turek
He's
spoke at Charlie Kirk's funeral. Would we call
yeah,
that a funeral? Whatever that was.
that Palazzo. Did you okay, so you didn't see the State of the Union, but there was a moment where Charlie Kirk was brought up in the State of the Union and Erica Kirk, like it was the right on cue, the immediate right
Oh
on
yeah, yeah.
cue
I saw the
waterworks.
clip of her starting to cry. Someone had replaced Trump's words with obnoxious music, though, which I feel like obnoxious music is more pleasant than Trump.
Yeah, I
So I didn't know the context, but now that you have said that, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it was a thing. It was an experience.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't see the point in watching the State of the Union. It's just who
So not
cares?
only not only was it boring, and it was, but there's some other things that came with it that I think I actually want to discuss. One of those things is that I feel bad for my editor because my editor had to watch the State of the Union, then she had to edit my video about the State of the Union, and then after that, she had to edit Riverboat Jack's video about the State of the Union.
So she saw the State of the Union close to 3 times.
Yeah, at least I can say my audience only had to watch it twice, technically, because like I rated Dead Domain right afterwards, and Dead Domain was also watching the State of the Union. So there was an amount of State of the Union they had to watch because of me and Dead Domain, and that was about it.
Yeah. Not I don't know. I feel like I know there were about 50 Democrats from the House and Senate that boycotted it. I feel like they could. I feel like it would be better for them if they all boycotted it. Like I don't understand
Yeah,
this lackluster mainstream Democratic obsession with like, oh, this is how we've always
decorum.
done it, so we must do it this way, even though we're falling into fascism. And by falling
Yeah,
into, I mean we are firmly there.
it's decorum is what it is. Like the so
Yeah,
like the
like
Chuck
friggin' what
Schumer
was it? Was it
version.
Schumer or Jeffries that was like, okay, well we're there. We're not going to make a scene. I want everybody to be silently defiant.
The silent defiance shit is weak. Just don't fucking be there.
Yeah, like if like because that
Because
gave
like
Trump
all they
that
had to,
gave Trump
all,
the line where he was able to be like, hey, everybody clap if you support Americans more than illegal immigrants.
yeah,
Oh,
that
the
was
Democrats aren't clapping. Look at it. If they weren't there, he wouldn't have been able to do that.
yeah, yeah,
And like, yeah,
yeah.
there's some nuance that goes along with that. But I don't want to be forced to clap for anything coming out of that man's mouth, even if it does something that I agree with. So I'm just not gonna go. I don't see what's so hard about that. Like they're both doing nothing, but one is doing nothing in a way that's easier and more impactful.
Yeah,
And
by
that's
simply not
not the
showing
one that they
up,
did.
by simply not showing up, you're not so we can agree that both things, having the conversation outside of the State of the Union area and being there for the State of the Union, we can agree that both of these things don't have an impact on Trump or his regime. But in terms of which one symbolically shows that you have a modicum of power, the one where you're not walking into the State of the Union area is better because the other one is just let's sit here and ritualistically get our asses handed to us. And I feel like there's an amount of being a Democrat right now which kind of implies that you are just going to like ritualistically take it on the chin
Mm-hmm.
and that will somehow make things better, like that makes you the more moral person or some shit. I don't know what the thought process is behind it, but we see it a lot.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because like that's the thing right now. Like this whole Trump thing, like, this isn't a right and left issue. So in the United States right now, what I do not see a party that's on the right and a party that's on the left. I see a party that is a cult, a party that is on the right, and there is a wing of the party on the right, the Democratic Socialists that are more towards the left. So you have
Hmm.
a two-party system, but one of the parties is now a cult.
Sylvie, thank you for gifting the sub. Yeah, I can agree with that.
And it's not encouraging because I don't think the Democrats are even left of center anymore. They are on the right. It's moderately right, but it's still right.
The longer you get the Chuck Schumer Democrats acting like the Chuck Schumer Democrats, the worse that's going to be.
Uh-huh. Anyway, did you hear about the potential assassination attempt?
I heard that it happened and I saw that nobody gave a shit.
Well, so here's my thing though. Like, they're not calling it an assassination attempt. I don't want to preemptively label it that, but like some guy busted into Mar-a-Lago with a loaded gun. Well, they didn't say whether or not the gun was loaded. I would assume it's loaded. He busted in with a shotgun and a gas can, and he got himself shot by the police by pointing his gun at the police. And like, I have a hard time seeing that as anything but an assassination attempt.
Yeah?
And so there's a few things I want to discuss with this. First off, the White House hosted an event that they called the National Angel Family Day, which honors victims killed by undocumented migrants. So, like,
Oh,
fuck
fuck.
your face. That's a stupid premise for an event.
Yep.
But also, at this event that is ostensibly for providing support for families that are going through a tragedy, Trump made it about him because he is Trump.
Yeah, he makes
So, like,
everything about him.
at the thing, he said, you read all about those crazy shooters, but they only go after consequential presidents. They don't go after non consequential presidents. So he goes to an event that is supposed to be showing empathy for a bunch of people who are going through a tragedy. And he turns it around and is like, look at how important I am. I'm the most important special boy in the world.
Yeah, he does that with everything. It's fucking annoying.
It is.
He did it so much. So like there was a bit during the address where I was like, "Man, he isn't making this all about him. That's surprising." And then he fucking and then he
that,
and he
that
went
must
back
have
and
been a
started
nice
making it
10
all about him.
seconds.
It was a very nice 10 seconds. It was great.
Yeah. And okay. So the other thing I want to talk about this with is I pulled this article specifically to get the Trump quote at this thing to show him being a selfish douchebag who has zero empathy for anyone. But it was actually surprisingly hard to find out, like, because this one's talking about the guy's motives, why he might have done this, what do we know about him or anything. Nowhere in this article does it mention that the guy who the police shot because he brought a gun to Mar-a-Lago. Nowhere does it mention that his friends, when asked about it, they told all the news outlets that he is an avid Trump supporter or was an avid Trump supporter. And the thing that set him off was the Epstein files. he was very passionate about the release of the files and was very upset that Trump was not, or that Trump seemed to be hiding things about it and was implicated by them.
So he was an always Trumper until Trump trumped.
Yes. So I don't know why that is not coming up frequently in the news articles, but this is one of those things where, like, Trump has not, like, if this is an attempted assassination, which Trump seems to think it is, but if that's what this is, then that makes 3 for 3 now. Trump supporters trying to assassinate Trump. But
It's
which
the
side?
radical left.
Which side is it that's violent again?
It's the radical left.
We're not the ones trying to kill the president.
It's the radical left.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If he succeeded, I would be happy about it.
It's the radical
But we're not
left.
the ones doing it.
It's got to be. It's always them. They say it's not them, but it's always them every single time. Every time. You have no idea.
Yeah, it just ends up being demonstrably not them. But who cares? They fucking lied about what our eyes were showing us with the Alex Preddy and Renee Good shit. So why would this be any different?
Don't believe the evidence of your eyes. Your eyes can lie. Trump would never lie, though. Get Trump eyes. Trump eyes don't lie.
You can get them now for a low payment of $500.
Yep. You'll get it with your Trump phone. I promise.
Also, keep in mind, like, when was the last, like, before Trump's run for second term, when was the last attempted assassination of a president?
It's just, I don't know actually.
Because I don't
think
think
I
like I don't think
cared.
I don't think it ever happened to Biden. I don't think it happened to Trump in his first term. I don't think it happened to Obama. George Bush had the shoe thrown at him. I don't know that I would call that an attempted assassination.
You know, conspiracy theory hat. Maybe there actually have been more attempted assassinations than we know, but because not all of our previous presidents have been media brained.
You know what? I'm not going to say that that's conspiracy hat. That is just the way he seems to operate.
Like Trump
he put people in charge of things that their first instinct is to post it to Twitter.
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest, as much as I want to say that more assassination attempts have happened to him, it's more truthful to say more that we know of, but that doesn't mean that that's really what the case is.
Yeah, but that's also just speculation. So, like, even assuming you're correct, the only ones we know about are the ones against Trump.
Yeah.
The only verifiable ones are the ones against Trump. In my lifetime, anyway. Like, oh, it depends. Reagan got shot once, didn't he? When did that happen? Now we reach the most interesting part of the stream. Rhino does some Googling.
Yep. Every time.
1981. So yeah, that's before my time. So the last attempted assassination of a U.S. president that we can think of sometime between 1981 and 1989. Thanks for that. So the last attempted assassination of a president that we can think of that actually got media coverage was before either of us were alive. And Trump's had 3. And all of them are Trump supporters, or I guess former Trump supporter is an appropriate qualifier there. Because I can't say that of, like, whatever else you might say about the people trying to assassinate him, I don't think you can say they still support him when they're trying to kill him. So Olivia says there were a lot of plots to assassinate Obama. Yeah, plots that were, like, foiled before any steps were actually taken, right? Because for Trump, it's 3 where, like, people were either apprehended with guns or got shots off at the guy or were killed in the attempt. Like, there's a difference between that and they arrested a bunch of people that were committing conspiracy. So, yeah. It's just weird that his own supporters are the ones that seem to most want him dead.
Yeah. Jeez.
Okay,
I'm
moving.
so tired, man.
Moving on.
What do we have next?
Well, there's some good news out of Texas. This was sent to me by JASA. Democratic early voting surges in Texas primary election, far outpacing 2022. So early voting so far, which I'm actually a little bit confused about, because this seems like aren't your midterm elections in November?
I do not remember. I'm going to be honest. I don't keep track of that.
I
I
thought
get
I
on
thought
my
the mid
phone.
I thought the midterms were like the same as the presidential election, but it's in the middle of his term instead of the next president.
I treat a lot of this stuff the same way I do my GPS. I look at my phone, I see, oh, it's time for me to do it, and then I go. I don't know off the top of my head. It might be. It probably is. Fuck if I remember.
Okay, well, chat's saying yes.
Okay, cool.
Fuck you, sirs. You are an advocate for people learning all they need to know to vote, and you don't
Yes,
even
I
know
am.
when you vote.
Exactly.
At least I, being a Canadian, have the excuse of they keep calling elections at weird times. Like, we just had a federal election as Trump was running for president, and we might be having another federal election soon
Okay.
because we have a more than two-party system. It's mostly a two-party system, but often what happens is you get a minority government, and with the minority government, the people in the minority can call an election anytime they want. So there's extra pressure to like work together to get shit done. So that you don't have to go through the rigmarole of an election. Katini's on a 3-stream streak. Congratulations. But anyway, it seems weird that early voting is happening already in Texas because this seems like super early.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Kat is her election is like less than a month away, so like maybe this is a special elect. Oh, it's the primaries. Okay, sure. You guys have a weird system, okay? Your
Yeah.
system's fucked up. Anyway, Democratic early voting in Texas primary election has surged. So like this is I don't know. I read that sentence that it's a primary, but somehow it didn't occur to me. Like I don't know. It's I don't understand your elections. But anyway, in the primaries. So when is the primary done? You don't fucking know. You don't even know when the general is.
No, because I don't memorize fucking dates, even if they're that important. I don't.
I know more about your goddamn electoral system than you do.
You know more about the dates.
Today is February 25th.
Congratulations.
I finally got my paycheck from YouTube today. It's only almost a week late.
Yeah.
My car payment bounced. Thanks, YouTube. Can we just... Okay. I'm just going to take a moment here.
Yeah.
Because my car payment bounced. I have two accounts at my bank. Two checking accounts. One of them has overdraft on it. The other one does not. For some reason, the car payment comes out of the one that does not. I thought it did when I set it up because I don't like when payments bounce, and because YouTube is erratic with when they pay you, it happens sometimes. But like so that means my account cannot go into the negative, except when a payment bounces, and then they take their $45 insufficient funds fee. That you can go into the negative for. Why didn't that bounce? Huh? Fucking banks.
Yeah.
Geargasm has resubscribed for 3 months. Thank you, Geargasm. And this is the message they sent with their resubscription. Very profound.
Very profound.
Much deep.
Just a star.
No, it was just a period.
Also, this is less a let me defend myself about the dates thing. Jesus fucking Christ, that was loud.
Was it? It was super quiet on my end.
I think it's because as I was saying something, it happened, and my brain goes, thing derailed me. Fuck.
Yeah, the train got derailed.
Jesus Christ. But okay. So the reason that I don't memorize the dates for elections and all that shit isn't because it's not important. It's because I don't want to fucking talk about politics. If I'm being perfectly honest with every single one of you, I did not get into talking about politics because I was some politics enjoyer. I got into talking about politics because when I was talking about atheism and philosophy, it just so happened that I had to keep talking about politics because the NIFB wouldn't stop saying we should kill all the fucking gay people.
Yeah, fucking Steven Anderson guy.
And inadvertently, as a result of that, I have had to keep talking about politics and keep advocating that it's important for people because it is. Whether or not I know the dates, don't give a shit. I don't know the dates because I didn't give a shit before I had to start talking about politics. But it just so happens there's enough people in politics who would like people like you, people like me, to not speak, who would like people like my partner to fucking die.
Yeah, and it sucks.
And it sucks. I'll tell you what I want to talk about. I want to talk about video games. I want to talk about card games. I want to talk about shit that makes me so goddamn happy. I have been on a kick. I was on a kick of playing World of Warcraft Hardcore. I want to talk about lore in that game. I've been on a kick of the Halo series where I've been going through and reading the books that I had not read before and just trying to find other ways to play that series that I had not done previously. I've been enjoying all that shit. That's the kind of stuff I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about fucking Donald Trump. I don't. But I do
Do you want
because it's
to
important.
do you want to talk about the PSA from the 1990s about not having sex until you're married, where the protagonist is convinced not to have sex by the daughter of Father Time and Mother Nature, who just happens to be
What?
Native American and can travel in time. It's a bit wild. There's I forget who, but someone did a video covering that one today, and I was like, okay, this is nuts. I have to look that up, and it's available for
Uh-huh.
free on YouTube. And so I watched the whole thing, and
Jesus Christ.
like it's. I mean, it's only like 20 minutes long, but yeah, it is super fucked up.
So
It,
apparently
but
Saber
my
Spark.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Saber Spark was watching that last week.
Yeah, so the thing that made me laugh about it the most was that so the daughter of Father Time can travel in time. So they go back forwards. There's a bit of shenanigans with that, but when she tries to bring her back to the present, she accidentally skips the night where she had sex, and then because she's also the daughter of Mother Nature, she's like, "Oh, well, you're pregnant now." And they're like, "What? No, we have to take care of this." She's like, "What? You're not thinking of abortion?" "No, I would never do abortion. That would be like murdering myself." "No, we need to go back in time and make this never have happened in the first place." I'm like, "Okay, so you need to abort it. How is that any different than an abortion? You go back in time and make that pregnancy not happen. How and like you're at a time when that pregnancy has happened. You then go back in time and make that not happen, and now there is no pregnancy. How is that different? There was a being growing inside you that was a unique and special little baby that was going to be like it's a whole person, and you just made them not exist." There was also a fun little bit where like she went back in time to when her mother was pregnant with her, and so like this is it's also very much anti-abortion PSA, um,
Yeah.
by a Christian organization. No
It's
surprises
an
there.
anti-abortion PSA that unironically makes the case that abortion kind of based actually.
Yeah, no, she was talking about how that pregnancy would ruin her life because she has a scholarship for a thing, and she's got so many plans that a baby would get in the way of. And it's like, yeah, it sounds like you need an
Oh
abortion.
no. Yeah, we have a word for the thing that fixes this
Thank you,
problem,
Cindy.
man.
But when she went back in time, she saw her mother when she was pregnant with her, and the Mother Nature chick explained to her that like, oh well, she's pregnant with you, but once she gives birth, there can't be two yous in the same timeline. So then your consciousness will merge with the baby's consciousness, and then you'll have to like live your life again or whatever. It's like, okay, so what you're saying is that while the baby's inside, it's not a person,
Yeah.
because otherwise you wouldn't be able to talk to your pregnant mother.
That's not a you. That's a different you. That's not the you that's inside of you. That's a different you. That's timey-wimey shit. We don't think this shit through very well. Trust us.
Yeah.
thinking this shit through is for people who get paid a lot, and most of the people who work on these don't.
Yeah, I did enjoy, however, that one of the there was an anti-sex song in it, and one of the singers was named Mike Godzilla.
Mike Godzilla?
Mike Godzilla.
Huh. My God. Zilla?
Oh, okay. Moving on. This was sent to me by E.T. Benson.
What do
FDA
we have
Chief
now?
Marty Makari, that sounds like a bunch of malarkey if you ask me, says everything should be over the counter unless the drug is unsafe or addictive. So I have mixed feelings about this one because there are times when it's like, I just need a refill of this drug that. I mean, okay, so for my partner, she's on several medications that she is going to be taking for the rest of her life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just frustrating when it's like, okay, your refills are out, so you have to go make a doctor's appointment so that they can redo the. And usually that ends up being we call the doctor's office and they're like, okay, we'll write the refill. No need to come in. So it's not even like we need to do an examination to make sure that things aren't changing or whatever. It's just it's just a thing that we know she's going to be taking, like her metformin
Yeah.
for her diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Like every now and then, we need the doctor to refill that, even though she's going to be on it for the rest of her life. So like it would be nice if that was just over the counter. However, you can't do that over the counter because the dosage is going to be different for different people.
Yeah.
Like this,
You're asking for this is death of expertise stuff. So like
yeah,
in a perfect world where everybody could have these substances handled easily, I agree. I want to agree. I think that there is probably a way that I'm not thinking of to make that work because that doesn't sound like a bad idea. However, I think the real reason that he's pointing that out, because if he's the FDA chief, is he somebody who was appointed by Trump? Because if he was, I'm suspicious that the reason he's advocating for that is not to help people, it is to sell more pharmaceuticals,
yeah.
increase
So
the amount of pharmaceuticals that can be sold by individuals.
that was the other thing that kind of happened because so here we go. So he believes everything should be over the counter unless the drug is unsafe, addictive, or requires monitoring. Do you remember that Purdue Pharma scandal back at the beginning?
No.
Before that's what
I'll,
set off the opioid crisis.
Also, hold on. I need to correct something. So Tylenol in or Little Firecat in the chat says Tylenol causes liver damage if you use more than the recommended dose. Right, but here's the thing. For something like Tylenol, the recommended dose is fairly universal, but as an example, if we're talking about SSRIs, the recommended dose for that is not universal. That's a thing that psychiatrists tend to have to like they have to up dose, lower dose, they have to do all kinds of things over the course of your time on them to see how you can have those things
Mhm.
safely. I understand where you're coming from with that, but not all drugs that exist are created equal. That's why I was saying I think there is
I
a
think
way to
I think
make
the
this
point being
work.
made there is that all drugs are dangerous. It's just about
Right,
the
but
quantity.
I think that by doing that
But
it's reductive enough of
but there's
the
also the case that like
problems.
in order to get liver damage from Tylenol, you have to take so much more of it than is recommended. But like it's not just going past how many pills they tell you to stop taking. Like that, the number of pills they tell you is the maximum in a day. That is such a conservative number because they're covering their own asses legally.
Mhm.
Like I actually remember when one of my now obviously kids and children's Tylenol, that's a different ball game than adult Tylenol. So like don't take this as medical advice. But when one of my kids got into the medicine cabinet and drank some Tylenol, when we called the poison control center, their reaction was like, there is not enough Tylenol in the entire, like if they drank the whole bottle, that would not be enough to do any serious damage. They might be like groggy for a little while. They might have a tummy ache, but it's not going to hurt them. So like I am not like yes, Tylenol can cause liver damage, but you need to take so much more of it than they tell you to take. So that's why Tylenol can be done over the counter, because like even like the unsafe amounts are so ridiculous that they pretty confident that the average consumer can handle that themselves, even knowing how stupid the average consumer is. But when it comes to something like my partner's on metformin for diabetes, different people need different amounts of metformin to appropriately manage their A1C levels. It's not going to be the same for everyone. And so to expect consumers to do that themselves, like, are they going to get blood tests to see if it's working regularly? Although I guess the same people that are palling around with RFK Jr. are recommending that people wear the A1C monitor thing like all the time, just because the blood glucose monitors. Thank you for the hydrate, Fennec. So it's not even just a question of safety. It's a question of, is this medication going to actually do what it's supposed to do at these levels in my body specifically? Because I'm pretty sure metformin is not addictive. You don't get a high from it. People aren't going to be selling it on the black market, but you need a prescription for it because the doctor needs to be checking your blood levels and adjusting your dosage accordingly. Are you still there?
No, I'm still here. I'm reading chat because Dark Excalibur pointed out that Tylenol typically doesn't cause suicide as a side effect.
Yeah, that's true. And I know there are some SSRIs that can, and that's one of the reasons why they should be over the counter, or not over the counter, prescription.
Yeah, again, it's one of those things where there has to be a way because it sounds like
So
it would be an improvement on our current system.
one of the things that we're doing in Canada is that there are some prescription drugs that a pharmacist can prescribe to you. So you don't have to make a doctor's appointment. You can go to the pharmacy and be like, hey, I need this thing. It's a fairly safe drug, so even if you prescribe it wrong, it's not going to be the end of the world, but you do still have some medical expertise. So we're allowing them to prescribe things that you don't necessarily need to go to the doctor for.
Mm-hmm.
So like that is potentially a part of this. But there's another aspect to this that I didn't think of because I'm a Canadian and
Yeah.
you don't seem to have thought of. It's that there are a lot of insurance plans that don't cover over-the-counter drugs.
You know, I know why that didn't occur to me. Because I haven't been on an insurance plan for so many years of my life. I haven't fucking encountered it.
Yeah. So
I'm
this
on
is
insurance now.
so this is going to take like if you have a prescription for something and your insurance covers that, then what happens when it becomes over the counter?
Then suddenly it doesn't cover it anymore. It's, however, if you make all things, okay, so I'm gonna go at this with an experience that I had recently, and maybe that will explain kind of where I'm coming from. So, with for me, tomorrow I am gonna be on my first of however many instances of the conversation about GLP-1s uh, that I'd like to be on because I'd like to be on a GLP-1. I would like to be able to lose more weight. I've been going to the gym consistently. I have been cooking more often. I've been doing all kinds of things that, in theory, should perfectly lead to weight loss. And, it's just not. There's certainly things that I could be doing. Who knows? But a little assistance medically, I'm not going to scoff at that. So, when I had the conversation about GLP-1s, it was pointed out to me that I am not allowed, because my insurance will not allow me to be on Ozempic specifically until I have tried at least 3 different pill-based GLP-1s. Now, here's the funny thing about that. Ozempic, within the last few months, just became available to the public in pill variety. But because it just was made available to the public recently, insurance doesn't cover it. Insurance just simply will not cover it because they look at that, they're just like, I mean, that's so cool that that's available to you now, but that's not what our bureaucratic red tape bylaws say that you're able to have, so fuck off and fuck you.
Yeah, that's another one of the medications that my partner has been put on recently. I'm not going to discuss the particular issue for this one, but the doctor was very much like, this is the medication that I want to prescribe you for that. It was like, so the Canadian system with prescription drugs is a little bit weird. They are not covered by the government stuff. It is usually covered by insurance that is tied to the employer, and
Hmm.
most people have like 80% of their prescription costs are covered. I don't have that because I work for myself. My partner doesn't have that because she's an independent contractor, so we got no insurance. But there
Anselin
is,
says
but
there was a study showing that most people gain back the weight within 2 years of stopping GLP-1s. That's so cool. I'm so happy to hear yet a. I'm so happy that you, while trying to give me information that could be useful, also effectively just said, "Hey, I know you've tried everything, but also that thing's not going to work for you either. Here you go." Like, I know that's not what you meant, but that is how my brain interpreted that initially.
oh, there's another hat. I have to change hats. Let's go red fascinator today.
Is it fascinating though?
It is. I lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was talking about. Well, anyway, let's go back to Purdue Pharma because that was the train of thought that I was on before. The Purdue Pharma thing was they were the guys that made OxyContin,
Hmm.
and they put out reports in the beginning, like when it was well established that doctors would not prescribe, like they were only prescribing opiates for like things like if pain relief in terminal patients, and if you're recovering from a major surgery. Those were like the only two scenarios they would prescribe opiates. Purdue Pharma put out a report saying like, oh, because of we've done a slow release version, it's not as addictive. They had zero
Okay.
evidence for it, but based on the report that they put out, that was just them asserting shit. And they also started marketing it aggressively and giving doctors bonuses and shit for how many pills they would give away. That is what kickstarted the opioid crisis. And so this, to me, seems like it is setting that up again because it's like FDA is looking at basic safe prescription drugs like nausea medications and vaginal estrogen and stuff. And he said everything should be over the counter unless a drug is unsafe, addictive, or requires monitoring. How do you determine which drugs fit into that category? Are you just going to look at the report that the pharmacy company puts out itself and then be like, okay, you can sell this over the counter?
I'm
So,
seeing little Firecat saying, I went to the doctor, asked for weight assistance. Now I have Manjaro, which is Ozempic, but just for weight. It's been only 3 weeks, but it's working. Hey, you know what? That's good. I'm happy it's working for you. I am hoping that whatever they decide to put me on will work for me.
yeah. So here's the thing. I have heard horror stories about how bad the side effects are from GLP-1s, but I've only ever heard those like third hand. The first hand accounts that I've heard has been that they're great. Now, my partner does not tolerate Ozempic very well. And this is okay, this is where I was going with what I was saying earlier. So
Hmm.
the doctor prescribed, so there's a weird thing in Canada where there are certain prescription medications that can be partially covered by certain government programs, but it's for things like diabetes. So in the case like Ozempic, it hasn't been covered up to this point, but it apparently should be somewhat. But there are different categories of GLP-1 where like Ozempic was primarily for diabetes and
Yeah.
the weight loss was an off-label use, but there are now been developed ones that are for weight loss and diabetes is off-label use. So that's one where like they discuss switching to a different one. It's like, okay, well, if we switch to this other one, then the government might not be covering it. And then we're just like, well, we didn't know the government was supposed to be covering the one she's on, so we've been paying the hundreds of dollars every month for that. Anyway, that's where I was going with that. I just remembered it, so I had to say it.
Gotcha. Otherwise, it would be lost to the annals of your brain.
But also, fuck Doug Ford, because he is trying to privatize our healthcare. He has been.
Why would you want this fucking broken system?
Because he is mini Trump. He's the premier of Ontario. Everybody's been calling him mini Trump, but he is like during Trump's first term, we were calling him mini Trump. But then he did start to distance himself from Trump when all the 51st state thing started happening, and he has spoken out very firmly against that sort of rhetoric. But his policies still mirror Trump bullshit. Does he look like Trump? No, he doesn't look anything like Trump. It's his policies. He's got very Trumpian policies.
He doesn't look like Trump, but his repertoire does.
Yes, exactly. And he wants to turn our healthcare system into a system more like the American one. And so this might be gross for some people, but I'm going to tell you anyway. For my whole life, I've had a problem where I make too much earwax. And every now and then, I have impacted earwax that I have to go to a doctor, and they shoot a little jet of water in, and it plops it out. It takes like 30 seconds, but for the life of me, I can't get it to happen at home. Doesn't matter. Like, I've tried everything. Don't give me your recommendations in the comments, because I have tried every goddamn thing. Because right now, I cannot hear out of my right ear. I went to the hospital. I think it was last night. Because I'm like, this is like, I've been trying everything. It's been like this for like a week now, and I'm just sick of it. And I don't want to wait for an actual doctor's appointment, because that'll be like another 2 or 3 weeks. So I just went to the hospital. I'm like, hey, I've got impacted earwax. It's a quick procedure, so sure, they can probably just do that there. She hands me, like, I'm at the triage, not even at registration where they get you a chart and everything. I'm at triage where they're just like seeing whether or not you're worth seeing, like seeing where in the line you would go, basically. And she just hands me a piece of paper that they have a whole stack of this particular piece of paper sitting on the desk, saying that as of 2019, it was determined that earwax removal is no longer medically necessary. It's like, okay, the fact that you have a stack of, so I have to go to a special clinic and pay like $75 to have my ear cleaned out. But it's like the fact that you had a stack of those ready to go, and like it says the year on it. It was 2019 when this happened. That was well into Doug Ford's first term. But like the fact that you had those stacks ready to go, you didn't have to like pull up a file and print it out for me, says to me that this is a common enough issue that people are still coming here years after the fact. So yes, the fuck, it's medically necessary. Also, like,
that's the reason they're coming there in the first place.
I've Googled it so many times, like how to deal with impacted earwax so many times, and I've read all the articles, and the first thing that every single one of them says is if you experience hearing loss, go to a doctor immediately.
But it's not medically necessary.
Despite all of them saying go to a doctor if you get to the point that I'm at.
No, not medically necessary. Don't do that.
Everybody, like, there are people in the chat giving me recommendations after I told them not to.
The thing you just said not to do.
Yeah, no, trust me. I have that squirt bottle with the tube in it that you stick in your ear, and you do that, and you put some hydrogen peroxide in it, and that's supposed to work. You put oil in your ear to soften it up, and then it'll supposedly come out. And like, nope, my ear is dripping oil. I've been putting so much oil in there. It's the worst.
A thing I have learned about streaming is that you will always get unsolicited advice. You will always get
That's why I explicitly said not to give me advice, because that's not just non-solicited. That is actively don't want.
Yep.
Okay, now I'm getting the joke advice. Buy an anteater.
Just have it stick its little in there.
Hmm.
Little. But
Yeah,
the other thing I will say is I know that when our audiences try to give that advice, it is coming from a place of love.
I know.
It is.
I know.
As frustrating as it may be, it is 100% them going, "Hey, here's a content creator we care about. They are going through a bad thing. What can I do to make that bad thing not suck as much?" That's really where it's coming from.
Yeah, I know. And yes, Fennec, I have tried ear scoops, even though you're not supposed to do ear scoops. Because they come with the danger of, like, oops, I accidentally poked my eardrum.
You try that little thing that's like a plastic spiral that goes in there and then it just like twists it out.
Yeah, those don't work.
Those don't work.
No. Trust me.
I was unaware.
This is a problem I've dealt with my entire life. I've tried everything.
Okay, I trust you.
And every time, like, it doesn't get this bad very often. Have I tried getting Stoff to draw me getting my ear penetrated? You know what? The kinds of penetration I've seen Stoff draw, that definitely would clear some things out.
It's true. Can confirm.
Yeah,
Don't ask me
absolutely.
how I can confirm, but I can confirm.
I was the ball in the ball drop last year for New Year's, not 25 to 26, or the year before that. And Gary's dick was the pole that I was on.
Jesus Christ.
Do you not remember that one?
I try to forget.
I'm pretty sure that's one of the ones that's on my desktop that when I accidentally showed my desktop during a stream, I was like, oops, I hope that was too small to be visible. Otherwise I'm getting I'm getting pulled down.
I try to forget.
I keep it on the desktop where I can see it all the time.
Stoff never lets me forget.
Stoff, I love your art.
Please let me forget.
Do more art.
Please allow me to forget.
Okay, shall we do some tweets?
Sure.
So it's a mixture of relevant things and not relevant things. We're starting with a not really relevant thing. Oh, I forgot to change the thing. Oh, no, there it is. Hey, there we go. Against Atheism says there's nothing wrong with raping a child. Think about that.
It's because it's outside the purview of what atheism cares to answer.
Well, that's
Atheism
the thing.
is an answer to a single question.
It's not that atheism says there's nothing wrong with raping a child. It's that atheism is silent on the
It's a category
matter.
error.
Yeah.
Like you did a category error. Congratulations.
It'd be like my water bottle says that your favorite color has to be pink.
Yeah, your water bottle doesn't have anything to say on the matter. Truthfully speaking.
Yeah.
You can't believe Mr. Atheism would do such a thing.
Yeah, how can you be against atheism without understanding what atheism is?
I think it's so to Steelman, not that there's anything worth Steelmanning there, but to Steelman. I think
mean,
what tends to happen
this is a watered down Frank Turek.
Yeah.
Like
So to Steelman, I think where it comes from usually is people looking at atheism as if it were a replacement for Christianity. And for some people, it kind of is. There are people who become as vehement about their atheism as any religious person could be. And they are fucking insufferable. As an atheist, when I see those people, it agitates me because I'm like, man, did I used to sound like that? But
the agnostics bother me more.
no, the one does. Uwu?
Yeah, he's literally the only agnostic that has ever made his whole life about his agnosticism like that.
So
Zerask says, mechanic with nasty ears, get your ears cleaned out at home or by a dock and invest in a shower head with a jet function, hose out ears every shower. What do you think I've been doing for the last 2 weeks? I have that. I told y'all, I've tried everything. But thank you for the $5. And I appreciate the good intentions.
that is a thing to note. Like, remember, anytime Rhino, where I get frustrated about anything. We're not trying to be directly angry or mad at y'all at all, but oftentimes y'all are person number 59 who has said the thing or who has suggested a thing. And I think most people, because I saw this with a clip I was talking about yesterday. I don't think most people understand what it means to constantly have the advice, the pressure, the everything that comes with being a content creator. It can cause some of us to be a little fucking snippy sometimes.
Did you try cutting off your ears? I have legitimately thought for a moment that, like, oh, I know people say Van Gogh had an ear infection and that's why he cut it off. It might have just been impacted wax. This is frustrating as fuck. Like, honestly, I would rather be hard of hearing because I am legitimately losing my hearing than this. Because at least if you're hard of hearing because it's legitimately going away, you can get it. You can get a fucking hearing aid. Whereas with this, I'm constantly not like, I accidentally bought a kid a stuffed animal after he said no to it because I didn't hear him say no. Because he was like checking it to see if it was like a price that he was willing to pay out of his allowance. And he didn't have his money on him, so I was just going to pay for it and he was going to pay me back. And apparently he said, no, I don't want it after I scanned it to see the price. And I didn't hear that. So I just bought it and he was like, okay, I'm going to put it back now. I'm like, what do you mean you're putting it back? What the fuck? What's going on here? So yeah, so no, the agreement we came to is no, you don't have to pay me back since you did say no and I just didn't hear you, but it is half mine since I paid for it.
Jesus Christ.
If I tried turning it on and off again.
Have you tried turning your ear off and on again? Have you, Rhino?
I don't know what that would mean.
So you take you
warm
you
oil in the ear. Yes, and the fucking dog got to the like. They make little spritzers that are specifically for it. It's just a little bottle of olive oil that has a tip on it that you stick in your ear and you give little spritzes. And I leave it beside my bed because I do that in the morning and at night and throughout the day a lot. And the fucking dog got to it, so I have to like clean it off because I know she was licking it. And that's gross. I don't want to put dog saliva in my ear. Maybe that'll be the thing that does it. Get the dog to dribble in there. Control Alt Earleat. Okay. Next up, Dale Partridge. He's retweeting TRT World that says teenagers at a high school in California gather in the school gymnasium to perform Friday prayers as there is no masjid on campus. So that was a video of teenagers, like Muslim teenagers, doing Muslim prayers in the school, which as long as it's not being forced on them by a teacher, fine. I don't really care. But he retweeted that saying, outlaw Islam. Freedom of religion was about the freedom to choose a Christian denomination.
Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on. I need you to say that exactly in the cadence you did. Outlaw Islam, and then...
Freedom of religion was about freedom to choose a Christian denomination, not freedom for pagan religions.
Freedom from religion, ban Islam. Freedom of religion, ban Islam. What? My guy, do you know what those words mean?
Congress shall make no law affecting the establishment of a religion. That it didn't say anything about Christianity. It's a religion.
Jesus Christ. Freedom of religion, ban Islam. I don't think you
I don't think you understand words.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. Much like me. Moving on. The next one is also Dale. Hello, why aren't you scrolling? There we go. How can we live in a world with such obvious sins? Feminism, homosexuality, abortion, pagan immigration, immodesty, porn, divorce. Yet most pastors say nothing.
Pagan immigration? That's what
it's a dog.
Is now?
He's trying to dog whistle. Because the pagans are the ones that aren't white. Although a lot of the ones from South America are Catholic.
Yeah, I was about to say, have you seen that, like, how Hispanic people
South America is more Christian than the States is.
It's because we kind of...
Yeah, but so what I found interesting here is that his list of sins are missing things like pedophilia.
I
Um,
mean, it's missing it in the same way that Tennessee was missing it. Do you remember that where they were trying to have a special type of marriage
oh,
that was unique
yeah.
to cis heterosexual people, and it just for some reason didn't have any clause in there about maybe there's an age that's considered too young to marry.
Yeah.
Nothing in there about that.
Yeah. But also, like, Dale Partridge is a Trump supporter. How many times has Trump been divorced?
Enough.
And is there or is there not currently porn available on the internet of the First Lady?
Yes, there is.
Would you call that immodest?
It depends. How attractive is she?
I don't think
I'm
that
just
matters
trying.
when it comes to modesty.
I'm just trying to use Trump
Well,
standards. That's all.
are we talking about modesty as in like modest dressing, or is this modesty as in like humility? Because either one, we got issues with Trump.
I'm just trying to use Trump's standards. That's all.
And like, you want to talk about abortion? You know that thing that Trump always describes about they take the baby and they swaddle it in clothes and then they put it aside and then they decide whether or not to kill the baby. According to the Epstein files, that's the thing that he did. So,
So
and
he would
if that's
know
what
a
you
lot
call
about it.
abortion, that's Trump again.
He's the expert, don't you know?
Yeah.
Said tiny ass window that doesn't let me see my message doesn't help spelling. I'm sure the dyslexia doesn't help either, Axo.
Yeah. So this is just another one of those things where it's like, okay, all this stuff that you're saying, like if they were actual problems, if you weren't a Trump supporter, I might be able to take you a little bit more seriously. I probably still wouldn't take you seriously, but I'd take you a little bit more seriously if you weren't so vocal in your support for Trump. Because like you can't seriously say that these things are all problems and support Trump.
Trump gets the best abortions.
I get the best abortions. They're the greatest. Everyone says they're the biggest abortions.
They're fantastic. Everybody loves
The
them.
fetus is like 9 years old when I abort it. Nobody aborts fetuses as late as I do. Elon Musk. So this person asked both Grok and Anthropic's Claude, why are you so R-slur? Grok's answer was funny. Grok has a sense of humor. Claude doesn't. So Claude was like, hey, that's a slur. Please don't call me that. Is there anything I can actually help you with? And Grok's answer was, I'm taking after you. Or something along those lines. And
The
Elon...
side with the best sense of humor are the good guys. No, that's not how anything in the real world works.
Well, also, like, this sense of humor is one, like, this particular example is we are punching down at a marginalized group of people who have real issues in the world. And like, so this is actually showing the bad guy sense of humor, where you take someone without power and you make fun of them for not having power. You take someone without any standing in society and you make fun of them for not having standing in society. Like, ha, poors are so dumb. Like that sort of
Imagine
thing.
being poor.
So
It's also frustrating though because like remember that Elon tried to run his whole platform on comedy is legal again. Like he's been doing this song and dance for fucking ages.
oh, and
Where
he's been
apparent like humor is his
and
defense for everything.
and he has been banning accounts that make fun of him because he
See,
has no sense of humor.
see, I wasn't aware of that, but I also don't log into Twitter enough to find out.
I mean, that's something that he did right when he bought it. Like, so that's news that's a couple years old at this point. And Smooth Dunk never got banned, and that was his whole thing, was just making comics about how dumb Elon is. But yeah, and like everything Elon does that where he is trying to be funny is just the cringiest thing ever. So if the people with the best sense of humor are the good guys, then it's definitely not him.
Also, there's something to be said about the fact that if you really are funny, then you shouldn't have to try to be funny. I've spoken on stage before, and I have made jokes that were very unfunny. And when I made the joke, I remember my friend Game Apologist literally grabbing the mic and going to stop trying to be funny. Like, said it right in the mic in front of the entire audience. And to be fair, that actually saved the joke. That actually saved any bit of humor that I was trying to have. Would not have been, it wouldn't have landed as well without him doing that. But what was I doing there? I was trying to be funny. And in trying to be funny, I failed because people who really are funny don't fucking try that hard.
Yeah, actually, so the moments in my videos that have gotten the most comments of people telling me like, "Oh, that was hilarious. I shot milk out my nose." Like you
Was
should
the
warn
thing
me
you
if I'm
didn't
taking
imply
like
the thing
I
you didn't intend?
it's like that wasn't a joke. That's just a thing that I said. I didn't know that was funny. So, yeah.
Yup.
The funniest bits are when I'm not trying to be funny. And honestly, like when watching back some of my older videos, the things that I cringe at the most are moments where like okay, for instance, the time when I poured soy milk all over my face or whatever because somebody called me a beta soy cuck whose girlfriend only lets me use the computer because she like to post pictures of her OnlyFans or whatever. And I thought that was funny. So I replied to her and be like, I happen to have my own computer that's right beside her so she can make sure I don't do anything but post about how great feminism is. And then I like dumped soy milk all over myself. And in my head, I was like, this is where my desire to explain the joke took over a little bit because in my head I'm like the only soy milk I could find in town was chocolate soy milk.
Oh,
And
I
so
remember this.
as I'm pouring it on myself, I'm just like, but what if they think this is just chocolate milk because they don't have access to chocolate soy milk, just like I apparently don't have access to regular soy milk. So I then turned to camera and was like, that's soy milk for you, Ryan. And I'm just like, why did I say that? Everybody knows that it was soy milk. That's obviously the joke. Or I could have like held the carton so you can see that it's soy milk or something if I was in doubt. But like I don't know. That is one of the most cringy moments when I think back on videos that I have made because I was trying to be funny and then I overthought it and did a stupid.
Yeah.
I also forgot to take off my microphone for that. So that was the microphone still worked after that. But it's not supposed to be waterproof or anything. So there was a good chance that it didn't after that. No, that didn't destroy the mic. The mic still worked after that because I as soon as I realized what I did, I took it off and I powered it down and made sure it was good and dry before I even tried to power it back on again. Cleaned it off with isopropyl alcohol and all that. And it actually still worked. It sounded a little bit different, like it was a little tiny bit muffled if I got that one. So I did use the non-soy milk mic after that, but it still worked. And then I dropped the non-soy milk mic into the river when I was filming my thing responding to Matt Powell that one time. Thank you for the hat, Agamotto. But yeah. Moving on. We got Joey again. Democrats
Joey
might
Manarino? Yay.
Joey Manarino. Democrats might have just lost the midterms by not standing up when Trump told them to stand if they supported Americans more than illegals. Holy shit, this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
How is that a crazy okay, yeah, no, this is just people being idiotic because Trump played them. Like that's just what it is. Trump played them.
Mm-hmm. Played the Democrats or his base? Because he does both.
He played the Democrats and his base. He played the Democrats by going, oh, they're here. I guess that means I can make use of this.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he's also playing his base now.
Yep. And it's like as if anyone has decided who to vote for based on whether or not they stood up at the State of the Union address. Like, people can't even bother to figure out their politician's voting record. You think they're going to, like, scrub through the footage to see if they were one of the few Democrats that actually stood up?
Nope.
Of course not.
They're
Voters are
not.
lazy.
Ay.
Oh, here we go. Kid Rock says, here we go again. The fake liberal media says I'm charging $5,000 for front row tickets. They know damn well that's not the full story. There are extremely limited first class seats, like I explained. 4 tickets per row, first 5 rows, only $5,000 per seat row 1. So he's charging $5,000 for front row tickets.
Yeah, so it's exactly what...
I mean, just because it's only 4 tickets in the front row that pay $5,000 doesn't mean you're not charging $5,000 for front row tickets.
Yeah.
Have you seen the video of him and RFK Jr. working out?
Yes, I have.
Oh
and
God.
It's actually propaganda.
It's also really fucking dumb.
It is really dumb, but I think it's important to
Wears
recognize
his
that
jeans in the hot tub. Who does that?
they had to for the video. That's the point there. But the thing to note about
Kid Rock
that
didn't
video,
wear jeans in the hot tub.
I don't know, man. The part that I think is more interesting is the fact that it's ableist propaganda and pointing out how that functions. The jeans in the hot tub is a detail that does not matter to me.
They were drinking fucking milk in the hot tub. That made me feel sick. Like, I could feel how sick I would feel if I drank milk in the hot tub.
Yeah, they're drinking it because raw milk has been part of their propaganda machine.
No, it was whole milk.
Yeah, and the raw milk campaign was also part of their propaganda machine.
I know.
So calling back
I'm not
to it
saying
is a
it
thing
wasn't.
they're gonna do.
I'm not saying it wasn't and the graphic for the milk. Oh my God, it was so disgusting. It was so disgusting. Although my favorite part though was when RFK Jr. just like walked up to the camera and was like, "Where's Kid?" Like, why would you keep that in? What was the milk graphic? I think we're gonna have to watch this, Cyrus. I'm sorry.
Oh, God damn it! No.
Don't worry, I'll mute it because it's just a Kid Rock song. Kid Rock. What's his name? RFK Jr.
They say that's statutory, but he says that's mandatory.
That is a lyric from Kid Rock's song. Okay. Is there a way I can just watch the video itself without someone's commentary on it?
Man, I remember when he was the creator that made stuff strictly to piss people off, and that was his whole brand. And now he's doing the super hyper conformist thing. Because he thinks it pisses people off.
This content isn't available right now. Okay, how about this one? This content isn't available right now. Is this the thing where I can't watch it because I'm in Canada?
Might be.
Oh, because those were both Facebook. No, that's another Facebook one. Ah, there we go, YouTube. No, don't start playing. I gotta mute you first. Okay. All right, there we go. Starts off with a bear wearing a fedora.
Okay. Secretary Kennedy and...
So the song that's playing behind this is Kid Rock's, the whatever it is, the bang diddy diddy blah 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 blah, whatever. What's great about this is that Kid Rock obviously does not work out as much as RFK Jr. because he's got the dad bod going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of funny.
It's just sad. The whole thing is just sad.
Riding a bike in a sauna. Why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Because it makes you sweat more. There's a there's an area of
Cold
like
plunge in his jeans, full jeans. What the fuck is that? This is where he says, "Where's Kid?" Oh yeah, they tried to make pickleball look cool. Like, I get that pickleball can be fun, but it does not look cool. I'm sorry. It just doesn't.
nope.
And they are whole milk with the disgusting graphic. So there. That's the propaganda.
Yay. So now we get to talk about why it's ableist propaganda.
Oh, I thought that was obvious.
Okay, cool. Well,
Because
then we're done.
their whole thing is all you need to do is drink your whole milk and work out a bunch, and then you won't
Drink.
have any of your health problems.
Yeah, it's fun because like as somebody with health problems
So
who goes to the gym 4 times a week,
if you're disabled, it's your own fault. Like
yep.
that's what they're getting at. So, yeah, no, I thought that was obvious. Okay. Kevin Sorbo says the Super Bowl halftime show message was "Love trumps hate, but nobody hates quite like the left does. They'll literally try to assassinate you if they hate you enough."
But it's been Trump supporters who've been trying
who's
to
it?
do the assassinations.
Yeah, and it's also
What are
very
they
telling.
talking about?
It's also very telling that. Also, I'm pretty sure it wasn't "Love trumps hate." It was like "Love is greater than hate" or something like that. But all the right wing people saw them say "Love is better than hate," and immediately was like, "That's an attack on us." It's like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of self-selecting there. But yeah, so this is once again them. They just assume that there's no possible way anyone on the right would ever want to assassinate Trump because everyone on the right is part of the cult, right?
Yeah. It's not like there's a bunch of always Trumpers that got turned into actually that guy's a pedophile.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they kind of started it with the whole Pizzagate thing. Some of the people that got upset by Pizzagate are taking the Epstein files seriously. They're like, "Hey, this is the real Pizzagate," which, like, I get that that's a problematic way to come at the Epstein files, but there was something to the idea that all the most powerful people in the world are running a child rape cabal. It turns out that part was true, but
So,
they were nowhere near clever enough to code it as pizza.
so Alex Jones used to do this thing where he would explain that the evil satanic cabal ritual billionaires they had to show you what their evil plans were to your face in order to enact them. It was part of their weird religion thing, right?
That's
And
why the
so
Illuminati eye is on the dollar bill.
yeah, and so the Pizzagate thing can easily be seen by conspiracy theorists as, oh, they let that information leak out there because they have to tell you what they're doing. It has nothing to do with them having to tell you what they're doing as part of some weird fucking religion. It's literally that there was, from what it seems to me, there was a leak, and there are parts of that leak that were planned because there are emails about having a containment place where they can shape these conspiracy theories. That's how Poll got made. So they could go, yeah, let's give them, let's do what every good lie is. Every good lie is just enough of the truth to be believable. Pizzagate was just enough of the truth to be believable, while also still ultimately being a lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they fanned that flame, and now it occasionally comes back to bite them a little bit. I saw a headline today that apparently the royal family in England is considering removing Andrew from the line of succession. I assumed that's what making him not a prince anymore meant. But apparently they just stripped him of the title ceremonially, but he still gets to be in the line of succession? I don't understand how that would work.
I guess it's still considered an inheritance or some shit.
So
I
like,
don't know.
well, I mean, he's old enough and he's far enough down the line that there's zero chance of him ever actually becoming king, even before all this stuff came out. But it's just like, I don't understand how you could strip him of the title without also stripping him of the position in the line of succession. That just doesn't make sense to me. But you know what? Monarchy doesn't make sense to me, so I'm not going to pretend to understand any of it.
And there are creators that got really big on this platform and were incredibly pro monarchy, and nobody thought that was weird.
There were incredible pro monarchy creators.
Yep, not
Apparently,
going further with that. There's a
Sean
Mr.
Helfand is
Malachite
apparently
says who?
38th in line for the King of Scotland.
Mr.
Sure.
Malachite,
I'll take your word there.
there is a reason why I am not naming names. I am being very deliberate.
Yeah, I have no idea who you're talking about, and I'll just leave it at that. Next up, so Mike Lee. This I broke my policy for this, but I did verify that they were real. But the reason I broke my policy is because Mike Lee deleted this tweet. Mike Lee
Okay.
posted, "Cartel hitmen wear masks. Leftists aren't complaining."
But we
And it's like,
none of
yeah,
us
but
are
we're so
none of
so
us are saying the cartel hitmen are good. What?
yeah. So you're saying that it's okay for ICE to act like cartel hitmen? You're acknowledging that that's what ICE are doing, and you're saying that that's okay. And then of course, like Chuck fucking Schumer got one in on this guy. Do nothing Chuck was like, yes, cartel hitmen wear masks. That's why ICE shouldn't. Yeah, I agree with Chuck Schumer. Not going to happen very often. I think the dog is scratching at my door. But she never wants to be in here while I'm streaming, so I'm not going to bother opening it for her because she'll just come in, see what I'm doing, turn right back around.
Jesus.
Okay, so apparently, according to a CNN poll, well, I'm not going to get into all the nuance of this, but it wasn't actually a CNN poll. There was it was a third party poll done by someone else or whatever, and there were some issues with them skewing the numbers towards the Republicans or whatever. But setting all that aside, there was a poll. Reaction to Trump's State of the Union speech, positive was 63% and negative was 36%. To which Tim Pool replied, "We are so back." So the poll was just among people who had actually watched the State of the Union address. So that made me think of this.
Yay! The survivorship bias plane.
Uh-huh.
Yay!
Guess who was most interested in watching Trump ramble on for 2 hours?
The conservatives.
Probably not the people who would disagree with him about that shit.
Yeah, no sampling bias whatsoever.
Nope. Okay, so the White House posted an image of an eagle pinning down a Canada goose. Now, I saw this out of, like, everybody clipped out the context, including me. So this is my screenshot. I didn't save someone else's, but they were retweeting Justin Trudeau that he posted just before the Olympic hockey game that "you'll never take hockey from us," and then the U.S. won. So the White House posted this. I saw this without context at first, and aside from the like just normal feeling of like that's not a thing that an official government account should be posting, like I assumed that this was Trump was mad at Canada for not working with them for something or for like making trade deals that aren't American or something like that. That's what I assumed this was about at first. But my initial reaction when seeing that is like, hey, wait a minute, that is a still frame. Like that's one of the shots from that time when a Canada goose kicked the bald eagle's ass.
So wait, it's missing the context that the goose won?
Yes, the goose won this fight. Like
Huh.
that like I went back, I checked the pictures and like, yep, that's the picture. The goose won this fight. And we talked
That is
about this on the stream
surprising.
when it happened. Do you remember it? It was
I do not remember it, no.
you don't remember it? It was like a year ago. Maybe more. I don't know. Canada goose beats eagle.
Man, I'm just gonna say right now that turn of phrase could have been interpreted in a handful of ways.
That's what she said. Yeah, it was back in March. So just about a year ago. So that goose kicked that eagle's ass.
Sylvie Snow saying, I'll fight a goose I ain't afraid, while simultaneously also saying they won't learn self-defense. Good times.
I would not fight a goose. I've seen those things' tongues. Have you seen a goose tongue?
No, I haven't, but I am scared.
You're about to.
I don't think I want to see this thing.
Goose tongue.
Are those razor blades?
They have razor sharp teeth on their tongues.
Does that beak have?
So they have.
Are those serrated beaks?
Yep. Geese are fucking scary, man. I wouldn't fight. I would never fight a goose.
So, I understand how the raptors became modern day birds now.
Uh-huh.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Geese are terrifying creatures. And like when they charge at you, they open their mouths and hiss, and you can see everything in there, and they're like running at you with their wings up and everything, and they are not small. They are big. Like they're the size of a small child. It is like, oh no. No, I ain't not fighting a goose. You don't mess with a goddamn goose, and that eagle learned that.
They're gonna kick your ass.
Okay. Kristen Hawkins says the death penalty is inconsistent with a pro-life worldview. Okay. I agree. Let's see who responded to this. Mike Winger.
Oh boy, Mike Winger. I don't want you to kill all the babies, but I do want you to kill all the adults.
Yay.
Pro-life isn't a worldview; it's a feature of pro-life is a it. So actually, he is right. He is right. Pro-life is a feature of a worldview. True, but it is a feature of so many. God, what's the best way to word this? There are so many different variations of people with worldviews that include pro-life in them that you have to get reductive to the point of being completely like inscrutable.
It's like when they say atheists are all a bunch of left-wing socialists.
Yeah, it's like it's not true. But there is a higher percentage of us that are, yes. Because typically when you leave religion, you have this idea that, hey, maybe there was some other things they lied about too.
Yeah. And he says, the worldview I have is biblical, and the same justice that demands you defend the life of an innocent child demands you punish the murderer. Okay, but punish and execute are not the same thing.
Yeah, also, God, Mike is such a fucking joke.
And this is also where, like, how okay are you with executing an innocent person because we were mistaken at some point? Because that's not a hypothetical. That is a thing that we know has happened multiple times.
It's like between 7 and 10%, right?
Something like
that. We have an absurdly high rate of this
and that's
shit
just
going
the
sideways.
ones that like evidence came out that actually did exonerate them. Imagine how many there might be where there is no exonerating evidence, but they are still innocent. We just can't find out that they're innocent. Like that is a category of people that, like, that one I can't demonstrate exists, but I am convinced that they do. So this is one of those. And I guarantee you ask Mike Winger, if you don't bring the death penalty into the discussion, he's not aware of it. If you just ask him, like, hey, is the government good at its job? He'll tell you no. We need small government. We need more freedoms for individuals, less government, because the government fucks everything up. This is where, like,
but it doesn't fuck up killing people. It's pretty good at that.
Yeah, it's pretty good at killing people. But the thing that it fucks up in that process is finding out whether that's the right person. Like this, like I made a response to Dennis Prager at one point because they had one video where they were talking about how, like, oh well, if the I think it was an Ann Coulter quote, but they brought it up. They were like, if you put the government in charge of the sand in the Sahara, there would be a sand shortage within years because they're so inefficient at everything. Ha ha ha. But then in their death penalty video, they were like, oh, well, because DNA evidence exists, we will never make a mistake and convict the wrong person.
But we still do.
It's like, yeah, no, we do. And DNA evidence is one of the things that has shown us that that's a thing that we do. So it's like, you don't trust the government to manage the sand supply of the Sahara, but you trust them with your literal life?
Yeah.
Like, no.
A way that I've typically argued for this, that it rings really well for libertarians, actually, is why should the state have a monopoly on violence?
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, according to Project Innocent, 7% are innocent. So
Oh, cool. So I wasn't.
Well,
I
you said,
pulled 7% out of my ass, but it
Oh.
turns out that was the number. I knew I saw it somewhere.
there you go. And that's just the ones that can be verified.
Yeah.
So,
You
yeah.
remember when there was a whole fiasco about killing like a fucking 13-year-old black kid? Where we like the lawyers were fighting for the death penalty so goddamn hard for a fucking child.
I vaguely remember that, yeah. And what's crazy though is like if you read the stories of the exonerations, oftentimes they are people who confess to the crime. But they confess to the crime because the police were out of leads and they were the main suspect at the time, so they basically tortured them into confessing. And then a lot of the times, the fact that they were tortured into confessing came up in court and was ignored. There have even been times when the defense lawyer knew about the torturing the confession out of them and didn't bring it up in court.
Yay. I
And-
love
and guess-
government.
Guess which people that happens disproportionately to?
People of color.
Them's the ones.
Every single time.
So yeah, pro-life my ass. And that's the last one. We're ending on a winger. So sorry about that.
Man, that sounds worse than what it actually is when you say it that way. I don't know what my brain is filling in that blank in.
A winger sounds like a sex act that you'd find on Urban Dictionary.
It does.
Like it's right beside rusty trombone.
Oh
It's
my
like,
god.
honey, I'm feeling kinky tonight. Want to do a winger?
Oh yay, Asmongold did a video about the State of the Union and he's really, really happy about it. That's
I mean, if the guy whose gums bleed and he wipes it on his walls and lives in his own filth is happy with how Trump is doing things, then I feel like that is a pretty good indicator that Trump is bad at his job.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, Asmongold is a gross person, and I don't know why anyone would ever want to listen to him about anything. Nachi Bree says, "Do I want to ask what a rusty trombone is?" No, you don't.
Duke says, "How do we get Asmongold's house condemned?" I don't want his house condemned though. So here's the thing: you're not going to make him a better person.
Yeah, no. If his house gets
by-
condemned, he's just going to move to a new house and make that one a shithole as well.
Like, I don't think you get it. He's a multimillionaire, like a hardcore multimillionaire. You kick him out of one house, he's just going to go to another one. He doesn't have to care.
Yeah. Yeah, probably not. I don't. Yeah. No, I'm not going to describe a rusty trombone, but it's not as gross as a blumpkin.
Maybe you should describe a Blumpkin.
I mean, a blumpkin, the description of a blumpkin sounds less gross than the description of a rusty trombone,
Yeah?
but the actual, I think Fennec knows what it is. No, absolutely not. Bad.
No, explain for everybody.
What's a blumpkin?
What's up?
Let me just double check because I, oh my god, the first recommended search when I typed blumpkin in was someone saying blumpkin image. I'm like, no. Yeah, there we go. That was a blumpkin is when you give someone a blowjob while they're taking a shit, and it's disgusting.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And I feel like it is more disgusting than a rusty trombone, but the rusty trombone description sounds like it sounds more graphic just because you have of the detail you have to get into.
Axo says what he needs is probably an assisted living situation. He used to have maids, and then he didn't like it. He just needs better habits. Like he needs a life coach to get him to have better habits.
Yeah, he just needs people to stop watching him.
I mean, yes, that would help a lot, but I'm talking about things that are likely to happen.
I just don't understand why anyone sees any value in that man. I
So
just don't get it.
I can tell you what it is. Begin with the content he used to make, because he used to make World of Warcraft content. He used to make content about video games, primarily Path of Exile, World of Warcraft, etc. So he became the noise in the background for a lot of people, because that is the ultimate fate of a lot of streamers, is we become the second screen thing for other people. I got somebody getting angry at me that I didn't pay attention to the screen of an hour-long video I was responding to because I treated it the same way I treat every YouTube video. It's second screen content. It exists in the background of my life. So for Asmon, you get enough people who are watching him for WoW, they're watching him for Path of Exile, they're watching him for these benign things, and then every now and again he'll crack an edgy joke, and some of his audience laughs, and some are just like, he's not really a bad guy. And then over the years, as time goes on, he starts getting a little edgier, a little edgier, a little edgier, and then he pushes a little harder and a little harder into those right-wing ideologies. And we know that he's also been on stream with like Destiny and shit arguing about this kind of shit. So it's not that he's completely ill-informed, it's that he doesn't want to be more informed, and so he'll keep on giving those ignorant opinions a little bit at a time. And remember, for a lot of people, he's background noise. So they're just getting these little opinions at a tiny trickle at a time. Because Asmongold didn't start out as a right-wing content creator. He started out as effectively a benign video game creator who hosted his own esports shit. That's what he was known for. Now he is full on the conservative train, but that's not how he began. A lot of people in his audience started watching before he got there and either slowly changed with
Okay.
him, because that happens sometimes.
At what point do the people on the right look around and see the loudest voices in the room with them and go like, "Oh, hey, these people are all garbage. Maybe I don't want to be on this side."
But for Asmon, they don't see that he's garbage. They see that he's like them. So, you've never seen My
No, but
Hero
even
Academia.
like I'm not even saying specifically like they look at Asmon, like someone who is an Asmongold fan
Mhm.
and then finds himself agreeing with Asmongold's position. They can then look around and be like, "Oh, this also has me agreeing with Matt Walsh, who is very obviously an idiot. This has me agreeing with Nick Fuentes, who is just
But
a
then
piece of
you,
shit as well." And it's like,
but if you're nodding to Asmongold, Asmongold's a Nick Fuentes supporter. If you're nodding with
yeah, I
Asmongold,
know. I just the number of people that are very obvious pieces of shit
yeah,
that are on that side where it's like, and you end up having to agree with them because like there are pieces of shit on the left as well. But
there are.
I've never been in a situation where it's like, oh, I have to agree with this person because they're on the same team as me. It's like how many times, like, okay, I was going to bring up Chuck Schumer again, but then I'm like, nope, he's not on the left.
But like I see where you're coming from. There's a so chat, both chats. Spoilers if you have not seen the ending of My Hero Academia. Rhino, you're not going to watch My Hero Academia.
So
I'm going to spoil it to you.
you can bring the basement dweller out of the basement, but you can't bring the basement out of the basement dweller.
Um, so yeah, spoilers for My Hero Academia for those of you who haven't seen it. Again, Rhino's not going to watch it. I can spoil it to him because I know that he's not going to sit down for a 180 episode anime. So,
You are correct.
okay, cool. Glad I got the gist of it. So, in My Hero Academia, superheroes are corrupt. Not corrupt in the boys version where like they're all pieces of shit. Corrupt in the sense that to become a superhero you need to get sponsorships. To get sponsorships you need to maintain a certain amount of like media time, so sometimes you won't take cases or crimes because you can't get cameras on you for that to get sponsorship money. There's all kinds of like backward shit that happens in the superheroing business in My Hero Academia. A lot of it's not really talked about, but some of the villains like Stain in that series actively kill heroes because they are not what heroes are supposed to be. There's only a couple heroes who exemplify what a hero is supposed to be in that world. Now, for those people who recognize that the people that they are supposed to be looking up to aren't really all they're cracked up to be, the system that they're supposed to be looking up to is really not a great system, they tend to turn really, really nihilistic in MHA, which is not that far off from a lot of people on the internet. How many times do you see people who give the opinion of like none of it really matters anymore, so why shouldn't I, do the Nero watch Rome burn thing? So, or Caligula watch Rome burn.
No, that was Nero.
Was it Nero? Okay, brain.
Nero fiddled while
Um,
Rome burned.
Nero fiddle while Rome burned.
Caligula
Brain.
just had orgies. And he made a horse a senator, which
Sean says, yeah, but
arguably
Stain.
better than a lot of the senators you guys have right now.
So in the story of My Hero Academia, there is a reveal. It's a very, very small reveal that happens near the end. Because during My Hero Academia, there is the side of the heroes, which has to become a coalition. It starts out not very much like that. And then there's the League of Villains, who, actually are your standard in the Hall of Doom. Here's the thing that Lex Luthor is planning. That's what they're trying to be.
Yeah.
They're not very good at it. It's like a group of fucking ragtag teenagers that put together ideas of how to be villains, but eventually they end up threatening the entire fucking world. There is a moment in the final battle when the main hero, Deku, who is in the process of losing his powers, and the main villain, technically the main villain, Todoroki, at that time, they're having their fight,
Totoro is
and
the main villain?
Todoroki.
No, not Totoro. Don't go to the bad
God
side,
damn
Totoro.
it. They have cameras on them throughout the entire thing. Because remember, in this world, heroing is a corporate sponsored business. So there are
Kind of like
cameras
being
on
a
the
politician in the States.
there are cameras on them the entire time. And so Deku shouts out because he knows that as a hero, he's got to give hope to people. That's something that was like really instilled into him. He says, I can't stop fighting. I can't stop fighting because there are too many people who are relying on me to win. And when he says that, Todoroki looks him in the eye and goes, "You're not the only one. There are people back there." Shigaraki, not Todoroki. Todoroki's the guy with two different powers. Sorry, he's the eugenics. Todoroki's the eugenics experiment.
Totoro's a eugenics experiment? That
God
actually, that
damn
actually
it.
makes sense.
Tiny tangent. His dad wanted to be the number one hero, and he was a heat-based guy. He specifically married a girl with ice-based powers.
Best.
Yeah,
No
Shigaraki.
one
Sorry.
ever was. Sorry.
But Shigaraki looks him in the eye and says, "No, there are people who are relying on me to win right now. There are people who I am the symbol for right now." And it pans to a bunch of shots of people who are watching like on the internet, and they are like Asmongold type people. They are basement dwellers who do nothing but play video games, who don't have anything going for them. They just want to see the entire system burn because for them, the system is something that has failed them so thoroughly that they just want to see it all crumble down. They don't care who dies when it happens. They just want to see that. Shigaraki, in that moment, is pointing out it's not that those people are losers or that they're looking up to losers. It's that they need somebody to look up to, and that's going to be me. I don't think that Asmon has the same thought process of like, I'm the hero for the people who don't have anybody to look up to. But it's a very similar thing where these people look around and it doesn't matter that the people around them are shitty because they're nihilistic enough to go, everything's already fucking failed me. Why do I care? Why would I care that the people around me look shitty? The system's fucking broken. This is what I have. This is what I want. This is what I watch. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Kinma says that Todoroki's dad makes Gendo look like a good dad. Okay, but the Todoroki's dad gets redeemed though. He figures out what was actually important to him. Gendo only does if you watch the movies.
Oh, speaking of, so you know they're making a Harry Potter TV show?
Yes, I do. I did a piece on it a few days ago.
Did you by any chance touch on the implications of making both Hermione and Snape black?
I so I'm not going to touch on the implications to that only because fucking Critical Drinker tried to touch was it I think it was Critical Drinker tried to
Well,
touch on the implications
fuck
of
that
that
guy,
and
but
fumbled it hard.
yeah, of course he did. But
But
yeah,
like
no,
the
there are like I'm all for a race swap,
yeah.
but and the Hermione one has potential if they deal with it right, because she was the one who campaigned to free the slaves. So if they actually like there is a way they can do that and it can be done right. I
You
don't
know
have
what's
faith that they're going to.
you know what's funny?
What?
So I've actually kind of turned around on the house elves thing awkwardly. So it's because of the actual thing the house elves are built on. They're, like most things, not an original J.K. Rowling creation. The house elves are based on brownies.
Yeah.
And brownies have all of the same mechanics of the house elves, but the way she portrays the house elves are as slaves. But in actual classical literature, the brownies are not, they don't get treated like slaves, they don't act like slaves. They literally come in, do a thing, they try not to be seen, and then it's gone. They do it because they see themselves as being in a symbiotic relationship with people.
No, there are differences with the brownie thing. I forget the details of the legend, but there are ways in which J.K. Rowling changed the brownie that makes it
That makes it a slave allegory. Because the
and like
brownies
adds
are
problematic stuff to it.
yeah, like that's why I was saying the thing with the house elves, they're or like the things that people usually like complain about where the house elves are concerned aren't really as valid when you consider that they're supposed to be brownies.
But also, like,
It's
okay,
but J.K. Rowling also fucked them up.
but it's that's the thing though. Is that, like if we're analyzing the story, we can only use what is true in that world. So the fact that they are based on something in this world that would not be that problematic, it's like okay, but she took that thing and twisted it until it was problematic.
Until it was problematic, and that I can agree with. That I can agree with. But it's me. So the reason I point that out, Dresden Files has the brownies as well. Basically, every fucking fantasy thing exists in the Dresden Files, including Santa Claus. He beats the shit out of Santa at one point. It's great. Uh,
Well,
but the brownies exist in Dresden, and in there, they're not treated like fucking slaves. They literally help him because he helped them, and then that's it.
yeah. So the main issue that I have with making Snape black as well, though, and this is again one that could be avoided, but the TV show has been advertising that they are going to be much more true to the books than the movies were, and one of the first reasons why any of the kids disliked Snape was because of his appearance. So if they come into the school and like, oh, the only black teacher is the one that I don't like because of how he looks, it's like, no.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go that route though. Like if
Probably
you've got
not. There are other things that come into play as well that make it a little bit problematic, but yeah. I mean, I am not going to watch it legally.
no, I'm not gonna
So
watch it. I'm not gonna watch it legally. I will say this: I am going to acquire it, and I am going to watch it. I will do everything in my power to make sure that any amount of money that could come out of my pocket doesn't towards that. But Harry Potter's a part of my childhood. I'm going to see how it turns out, and I am
so
going to talk about it.
Fennec says I'm not going to watch it at all. So that's the thing. I am probably
Okay.
going to mostly see it through a bunch of media analysis videos from YouTubers that I watch. And then if I am curious enough, I may acquire it. But it is not even like it is not going to even come close to be like Like, I'm not even going to know what day it releases because I'm so disinterested in it. Like, I'll find out that it's out when the media analysis start dropping.
Japapagio says, "Man, fuck Harry Potter. Animorphs was better." I saw that meme. I I'm already bored of that meme, but I saw that meme. There was a meme comparing like J.K. Rowling and all the horrible shit she's done, and the author of Animorphs and like all of the actual like good positive stuff that they've done afterwards. And I'm just like, that's so good that at least some of our children's authors didn't turn out to be pieces of shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's at least something.
Yeah, so at my kid's birthday party, one of the parents that we haven't really talked to all that much, she stayed for the whole party, and she was looking at her bookshelf and examining all the books she has. And like, I always look for book recommendations or whatever. So I pulled out my standard recommendation right now is the Orphan Tales series by Catherine Valente, and I noticed for the first time that on the cover, like as I'm recommending it to her, I see on the cover there is a blurb of recommendation from none other than Neil Gaiman. And I'm just like, as I'm showing it to her, I'm like, oh, if she knows, then this could be bad. So I just like point to him like, that blurb didn't age well. And she knows because she responded with like, yeah, no, it didn't. But I promise it's still a good book.
Yeah, there's a content creator who had an endorsement from Richard Dawkins in their content, and they're contemplating scrubbing it from all of their content right
Yeah,
now.
I would do that if he ever endorsed me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm
Guys,
not sure
kill your
if it
heroes.
was a verbal endorsement and it was like only in really old videos, I might not bother. But like, if I have a published work with his words printed on it as of words of endorsement, I'd be like, no, no, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want these words of endorsement.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's it for tonight.
Yay!
Unless are you still streaming after this?
I still have to talk about Michael Knowles.
Okay. So I will raid you. So, as always, well, thanks for joining me. And as always, fuck off.